What's up guys, ShoDesu here, and this week's video is going to be a commentary on the game that got me into Challenger. Now if you aren't familiar with these videos, I basically go over VOD from my perspective and explain my thought process of everything I do with the information that I have. Before we deep dive into the commentary, I want to first talk about the Annie nerfs. In 13.4, they nerfed Annie's base health, Molten Shield, Reflect Damage, and Timber's cooldown. These are pretty big nerfs, but I still think Annie is super strong as support because her biggest strengths come from the low cooldown on Molten Shield, her CC, and her ability to enable a carry. This game is on the post-nerf Annie patch, by the way. Jumping into the commentary, I always check the scoreboard and make note of who has what sums every game. I see that Ashe has Flash and Ghost, so we will have an offensive summoner if we ever all in. I actually really like the Annie-Ashe matchup as Annie because I can Molten Shield all of Ashe's W's, and I win out trades when I have stun up because she isn't able to utilize her Hail of Blades. My game plan for these two waves is to play for level 2 and to stay on the opposite side of the minions of where Ashe is to avoid volley. I'm autoing the wave as soon as I can so we can get priority to level 2. Generally, when you have two range supports, it's going to be highly contested, but this Ashe came to lane a little late and wasn't hitting the wave. I think she was trying a little too hard to find angles on us for her W, so we were able to clear the first wave before them. As our last melee minions begin to die, I try to stand behind our caster minions to avoid the volley, but Jin and I both end up getting hit. I make sure to trade an auto in before she goes back into the bush. Our wave state isn't a dangerous spot, but I have a ward and I know our jungler is going to be hovering around us as he's pathing to Krugs. I'm still looking to auto the wave so we can get level 2, and I'm playing on the most left side of the lane so that if Ashe walks up to volley, I can avoid it. Jin attacks the minion closest to the bush, which gives Ashe an opportunity to walk out and auto. I try to walk up and trade an auto, but she plays the vision very well with the bush, so we can't trade. I know that the last two melee minions will give us level 2, and I see that Jin Qs them, so I walk forward to force a trade. Looking back at this, I definitely should have played the space better by walking up earlier. Because I am so far, I have to use my shield speed to catch Ashe with my Q. I instantly level up shield and then we combo my stun with Jin W. The enemy bot lane gets level 2 mid-trade as Xayah autos the last minion and they immediately trade back. I greeted one more auto when I should have just left after the root and I get chunked pretty hard. The enemy looks to all in us, but Wukong is coming to gank. They kill Jin and I'm focusing Ashe and think that they are going to try to run back, so I click forward, but they decide to all in because they know they can't escape. We both end up dying bot and Wukong cleans up 2 kills. At this point, I know that Wukong is our win con now and we just need to play safe bot. If we can go even in lane, Wukong can take his lead and snowball it everywhere else on the map. I buy boots, a potion, and switch out my trinket to a sweeper just so I'm more equipped on helping Wukong on roams. I know that because he cleared his bot side, he needs to clear his top side jungle so he will be out of reach for any roams for a bit. I walk through our jungle just in case mid gets ganked and needs help. When I get to lane, our wave is going to be pushing into the enemy. We don't want to fast push this in because the enemy can hold it right before their tower and leave us in a dangerous spot where we can get ganked. Jin only last hits so that the current enemy minions will die as the next wave will arrive, making it so that the wave doesn't move. I now am okay with sitting in the bush because I can tank Ashe arrows with my shield. I'm walking up because Ashe forfeits the bush, but I get pinged back because Talon is around bot side. We respect the pings, so we sit back for a bit. We both play back and Jin only walks up to push the wave. When I see Ashe walk out of the bush, we both know that the jungler is probably not going to gank us, so we have a timing toward the river entrance as our wave is going to crash under the tower. Jin sees Talon in the jungle taking Scuttle Crab, and then our jungler pings he's on the way. We have priority in the lane so we can rotate first, but it's Talon and he's really hard to catch so we don't collapse on him. We walk back to lane, but I'm staring at the minimap because I'll immediately rotate if he tries to harass Wukong taking Raptors. The lane state after we had the wave shoved in is going to bounce back to us, which is perfect because Wukong is clearing back bot. When Ashe volleys, I use my shield to tank it and trade and try to block for Jin, but he unfortunately gets hit. I see Wukong pathing towards bot, so I know we're going to fight very soon. He goes around the blue to dodge the Scuttle Crab vision that Talon got earlier. As our last minions are dying, I go into the bot bush with the intention of trying to push the enemy towards the river. As Wukong comes in for the gank, I walk up to stun Xayah as the enemy looks to all in me. Wukong and Jin go for Xayah and Ashe focuses me and I end up dying, and tragically Xayah ends up living and Ashe gets executed. It's okay though, the enemy loses the entire wave and we are still in a good spot. I reset and buy a ruby crystal because I'd rather have health than AP or mana regen because I just want to survive lane rather than go for trades. As I walk back, I see Gragas try to all-in Syndra. Syndra lives and I know she has teleport and Wukong is pathing up, so I walk mid with Sweeper to try to catch Gragas. I also know it's okay to take this roam because bot wave will be frozen at the tower, so Jin will be safe. We run into Gragas right as he is entering the bot bush, and I get my stun off as Wukong follows up. I walk in front of him on purpose to deny him being able to E out, but he ults us and gets out. I walk back down to bot lane and I'm checking the scoreboard and make note that our top laner in our jungle has all of the kills while their bot lane has most of the kills. We will never win an all-in bot except if we fight with our jungle. Now in this game state, I just want to absorb Ashe Volley with Molten Shield and just wait for Wukong to come back bot. Wukong is clearing top to bot again, so we just need to play super safe. They have the opportunity to take dragon, but I can't walk into river because it's not safe. The correct play here is to just sit at tower and wait. I know as support you always want to be proactive and look for the next play to set up, but sometimes doing nothing is the winning play. We think that the enemy bot resets, so we shove in the wave and then take a recall. On this reset, the game plan still hasn't changed, we're just doing the same thing. I walk through our jungle to make sure mid doesn't get ganked, and then I walk back down. I see that Wukong is looking to fight mid, and Ashe is Mia, so I walk towards mid to match her roam. As I'm walking, I charge my spells to get the stun from my passive and hit the vision cone to try to spot out Ashe. I arrive a little late, but Syndra gets a good stun on Ashe, so they disengage. I hover mid just in case a fight breaks out. Wukong goes in on Gragas, but there's no follow-up play after that. We know there's a ward on the bot side bush for mid and a pink in pixel bush, so we clear that. We also see Ashe is recalling, so Wukong wants to go invade the enemy blue, so I follow him to help. I made sure to path around the ward at mid. We blast cone over and I make sure to stand at the very edge of the bush so we can see if anyone rotates through this path. I'm not using my abilities here because I want to make sure I have my stun if someone does come, so I just auto the blue buff as I sit in the bush. When Wukong goes for Gromp, I make sure I give vision for the path from wolves and their base, so I stand around the entrance of it. We see Ashe and I want to walk up and stun her, but Talon hops over the wall, so we have to back out. Once we're out, I have to recall because I'm too low. The current wave state is going to slow push into us, so I know I have a timing to go back. As I walk back, I know I can't look for a roam at the current wave state at bot because it's going to bounce back into them, but Xayah fights Jhin under tower and completely throws. This is a high ELO game, by the way. Knowing that Xayah is dead and Talon is mid, I look to get a deep ward in their jungle. The ward I place here is a very good ward as it covers the possibility of the jungle entering their bot side through river and try. I know Jhin wants to push the wave in and back, so I help him push it and then look to sweep the river. Once I clear the bottom part, I start to path up. I know Dragon's coming up very soon and I want to set up vision for it. Syndra has TP, so I feel comfortable walking into the upper entrance of the river. I see that there's a pink or blue ward in the bush near blue, so I went to go clear it. I thought with our ward coverage it would be safe to clear it because I could see if the enemy is coming or not, but they never left the jungle from mid and I get caught out. I should have just waited for Wukong to come. I was a little eager to set up the objective, but I should have just gave it up. The enemy takes dragon and then I walk back bot. Wukong is clearing from top to bot again and Talon tries to go for a dive bot, but he can't go for it. We miss out on denying this play because I died at dragon. Xayah is just perma shoving the wave because she wants to recall. We know Talon showed mid, so he's not going to be bot. When the wave resets to neutral, we just hard shove the lane. In hindsight, we probably should have slow stacked 1.5 waves so I can rotate to Herald. After we push the wave, I know Herald is coming up soon and Wukong is going to the top side of the map, so I start to path up after I get my Spell Thief stacks. We see Talon on the bot side jungle and our mid is dead while the other mid is missing. I want to move to Herald here because I know most of their team is going to be moving. Wukong and K'Sante win the 2v2 top and I still move to Herald to give wards for Wukong. Once we kill Herald, I hover around mid for a bit because I get Shurelya's and 750 gold. I buy Shurelya's and then I start pathing towards Dragon because it's going to be up in about 2 minutes and I want to set up for it. As I walk back, a fight breaks out with Wukong and Syndra. I thought it was a 4v3, so I initially back off pretty deep, but Ashe is actually in their blue side jungle. I should have not turned the corner and fought back. Wukong dies and then Talon overstays and I end up getting his shutdown. We trade 1 for 1 and I'm looking to throw down my wards before I recall. I need to go back because I got a 600 gold shutdown and I want to spend that before the dragon fight. I use Tibbers to scout ahead so I can ward. I buy Ionian boots and then I path back to dragon. As I walk back, Syndra gets picked off but Wukong finds a counter pick on Xayah. Wukong drops Herald mid and then I start to sweep the river and entrances for wards. Once we get the charge, we rotate to Herald, but we have to be very cautious because Syndra TP's top. We start it but back off once we are seen because of Hawkshot. We path towards mid because we want to push the wave to stall, but Jhin lands a nice W on Talon when he steps on a trap and gets chunked. We force him to use his ult. As we rotate mid, I drop a ward on Drake. Talon tries to sneak around and take dragon, but once we see him, K'Sante TP's in. Now that our entire team is here, we full commit to the dragon and the enemy gives it up. As my team takes it, I just clear the pink that's in this bush. I don't commit my last ward in their bot side jungle because I know that the next objective I need to set up is going to be on Baron side. Once we get the dragon, I reset because I have a decent amount of gold and I need to refresh my wards to get ready to prepare Baron. When I go back, I'm in between Mikhail's for Ashe ult and Rylai's, but I end up choosing Rylai's because I felt like the Ashe arrows were not good. As I'm walking back, I'm checking the scoreboard again, and at this point we just need to play around K'Sante and Wukong. I'm looking to go ward Baron and I feel safe walking up because Wukong is at his blue. I use the vision plant to get more vision and then I ward the bushes near the opening of the river. Looking back, the wards I placed were not the best because Ashe could just clear it with one sweeper or one cycle of Umbral. I needed to spread them out. When Wukong goes to clear his bot side, I just sit mid and start to hover the side he is on. He looks to get Xayah here and we get the pick. Normally in high elo games, people don't get picked this often, but I guess this Xayah was having a bad day. We take those though. Once we get the pick, we rotate to Baron. Normally when you get one pick, you just want to force a fight instead of finishing off Dragon because you want to avoid the 50-50 smite battle. Now Azir gets caught, but our Wukong is pinging that he doesn't have smite up, so we still go on it, but we are now just looking to bait the enemy to get another pick. As we take it, I notice that the vision cone spawns, so I walk up and hit it so the enemy doesn't. If you're taking an objective, you should always hit this towards the enemy to deny it and spot them. I place my last ward on the other side of the wall to give us more vision. As we are hitting Baron, Syndra and K'Sante are fighting at the bottom side of the river. I flash ult Talon to make sure we kill him. Gragas gets one of the biggest combos I've ever seen on 4 of us, and I thought we were going to lose because of it, but we still end up coming out on top. K'Sante does a good job at zoning Ashe and Gragas, and we cleaned it up with Jhin ult. We get Baron, and now we are going to look to siege. As I am walking, we get another pick on Azir. We take those two. I walk with Wukong to clear the river and their blue side jungle. I'm not dropping any wards on our side of the jungle and only deep in theirs because we're going to siege on them with Baron. We wait for the waves to push in and I just sit with Wukong in their jungle. Again, I'm just playing around the strongest member of our team to enable him. We have a weird split going on, but the enemy also has 3 sitting bot, so we have the winning position. The enemy can't rotate through their jungle because we denied all the vision and have the entrances warded. Now we just play out Baron and split them. I try to ward the inner path between mid and bot, but Ashe clears it out. Once mid falls, the enemy rotates to defend the tier 3 tower. Now that they rotate, K'Sante gets bot tier 2 for free. Wukong is playing like a maniac, but he outplays the Azir super hard by baiting his ult. We back off because we know that K'Sante will be pushing bot for free. We just need to hover the area to give him the pressure. Wukong goes a little too deep as it's a 4v5, but we were able to get him out. Wukong's pretty low, but he heals off the jungle camps and we continue the pressure and the siege. They push back a bit to deny my wards and put vision in the jungle, but we re-sweep and re-ward. At this point, we rotate from mid to siege the tier 2 bot, and then we go for a pick. Xayah almost gets caught out, but Syndra misses her E, so she avoids the stun. She's able to ult because of that. This is the importance of denying vision when you are sieging. You'll get a lot more opportunities to catch out the enemy. Once the tower falls, Wukong flash ults in, knowing that Xayah has no R, and we get the pick. We then continue our siege forward. We're not quite able to get another pick, but we have a mid wave crashing, so we rotate with Syndra TP. We were able to get mid tower and the inhib, but we end up overstaying and taking a really bad fight. We definitely should have just backed and taken dragon, but my team wanted to fight. We get the bot tower, but a lot of us die in the exchange. I think we actually used Baron really well up until this point. We got mid tower, mid inhib, and 2 towers bot. Syndra gets picked by Ashe Arrow, and then K'Sante TP's back into their base. Jhin and I just want to leave and reset, but K'Sante wants to fight, so we stay and hover him. He eventually backs off, and then we all start walking to dragon. Once we get there, we start it, but we can't take it because the enemy might be able to rotate, so we just back. I'm able to buy Rylai's now, and now I'm super strong and hard to deal with as Tibbers now has a perma-slow. Our Wukong doesn't go to dragon, so Jhin and I awkwardly take it as Syndra is mid and Wukong is topside. Syndra gets picked off mid and Talon walks into us as we rotate. We blow a big combo on him which forces him to ult. Wukong is still top, but K'Sante is coming from bot side to help us, so we push forward. This fight was definitely pretty weird because I felt like Wukong should have just pathed to dragon, but it's okay since we went out. We traded 3 for 1 and then we continue to push forward. We take a fight with Gragas and pick him off too. After we kill him, we push in mid and then we rotate top. We were able to get the inhib and both Nexus towers, and as we were getting the last inhib, we saw that Azir teleported behind us, so we walked out. He tries to go for me, but I was able to walk away. My team collapses on him, but he has a tower and he shuffles them away. We can't kill him, so we just reset and then we go for Baron. After we get Baron, the game is pretty much over because we just use the empowered minions to end the game. Dude, I'm so happy right now. Holy fuck. I'm fucking back, baby. Let's go. Holy shit, we are fucking back. Oh. Man. What a fucking run, dude. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you want to learn how to play Annie, my last video was an in-depth guide on that, so I'll leave it in this part of the video. Till next time, goodbye.